from the University of Laverne. This is Foothill Community News.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Joseph.
I'm Renee Lopez, and this is Foothill Community News. Topping our news, vaping and e-cigarettes, the growing health crisis connected to them. Dozens of people have died and hundreds have become sickened. Reporter Charles Green has more on this story.
Vaping is one of the biggest trends in the lives of today's teenagers and young adults, but recent health scares connected to vaping have caused many to reconsider the use of their products.
Considering I have smoked both nicotine and THC in the past, not so much THC anymore, more so nicotine, this is definitely worrying.
It's scary because you don't know what you're putting in your body and it could kill you one day, and it's definitely a scary thought.
In recent weeks, over 1,000 cases of lung injury and at last count 18 deaths have been linked to vaping in the US. Chief of Staff at San Antonio Hospital, Edward DiGiorino, says the problem may have to do with the chemicals in the products.
You know, there are chemicals that people aren't used to. They may be having allergic reactions to them. Their lungs may be particularly sensitive to those particular things, and they're causing everything.
According to the FDA and the Center for Disease Control, not one chemical has been identified in all the samples tested. However, many contain THC and high levels of vitamin E acetate. The Trump administration is planning a nationwide ban on all non-tobacco flavored e-cigarette products to make them less appealing to youth. DiGiorino says this is a good idea until more is known about what is causing the lung illnesses and deaths.
A nationwide ban for a period of time is reasonable because we don't know, and the medical researchers don't know yet.
Many states are starting to crack down on the sales of e-cigarette products. California Governor Gavin Newsom is also starting a public awareness campaign about the dangers of vaping.
Walmart has also announced that it will stop selling e-cigarettes. With all the negative press surrounding vaping, some users are now starting to think twice.
Before I was doing it like all day, but now I'm going to try and just do it once a day until I finish off my supplies and then quit it completely.
I definitely will continue to use an e-cig a little bit, but who knows for how much longer, probably not too long.
Reporting for Foothill Community News, I'm Charles Green.
Topics like healthcare, climate change, and the economy are on the minds of a new generation of voters. Students at the University of Laverne made sure their voices will be heard in upcoming elections. Reporter Brianna Estrada has the story.
It's National Voter Registration Day, and students at the University of Laverne flock to registration tables, eager to make sure their voices will be heard on Election Day.
I want to vote because I want to actually make a change and change our political climate. That's why I want to vote.
I feel like America needs to change, so that's why I want to vote.
Although the 2020 presidential election is still a year away, many of the students registering today say they felt moved to act because of issues important to them.
Well, one is climate, this is our Earth, and we're not taking it seriously. Our president right now doesn't think climate change is real, so it's kind of upsetting.
I know healthcare is one of them because I was a part of one of the healthcare programs that they're trying to cut, and it's not good for me because I have a lot of medical issues.
In 2018, the registration rates at the University of Laverne reached 75%, a number that organizers say will be even higher this year due to the upcoming 2020 presidential elections. One of the volunteers helping students register is Student Vote Everywhere Ambassador Francisco Villagomez Luna.
I just wanted to push people to register to vote, and this kind of gave me the platform to do so.
Francisco says that students who can vote should, because only they can be the change they want to see.
Can't really complain about the things that are going on around us daily, the things that really affect us. If we don't use our right to vote,
If you missed out on National Voter Registration Day, have no worries. The deadline to register in California, online or by mail, is 15 days prior to the election you want to vote in. Reporting from the University of Laverne, I'm Brianna Estrada, Foothill Community News.
The Human Rights Campaign reports that 4 in 10 LGBTQ youth say the community they live in is not accepting of LGBTQ people. Christina Exigny has more on how the University of Laverne is making efforts towards inclusivity.
National Coming Out Day is a day of celebration for those who are ready to share their identity with the world. At the University of Laverne, the day was celebrated with an open mic night where students and anyone who wanted to could share their stories with poetry.
Far to ride, but unless you are with her, wanderlust stay strong forevermore.
The event was hosted by Savannah Garcia, the Assistant Director of Writing at the Academic Success Center, an open member of the LGBTQ. Like many others, Savannah has struggled with coming out.
That's when I was told, like, oh, it's just a phase, this isn't who I am. And it took me another 3 years to fully come out and to leave a marriage that I was in with a male and to really decide to live authentically.
She put together this event to show members of the LGBTQ community on campus that they are not alone.
You know, sometimes I'm walking down the street to go to the store with my girlfriend and, you know, just feel the pressure of eyes and feel like I can't hold hands. And then I walk into a space like this and I feel like there's no need to hold back.
To help spread awareness and bring the LGBTQ community together, Angela and Savannah have decided to bring an LGBTQ coalition to ULV.
Who could bring together that community just for the sake of being together and interacting, but also for advocating and, you know, pushing for awareness and hopefully bettering the community here on campus.
This open mic night was just the first of many LGBTQ events that Savannah and Angela are planning. Reporting for Foothill Community News, I'm Christine Insigne.
College is tough and so is paying for it, especially when resources are tight.
I took a look at a new survey that says California college students are barely getting by. Education lays the groundwork for your future, but the high cost of college makes it a daily struggle for many students just to survive.
There's been points where I'm like, I don't know if I can eat out, I can't really afford this, even when it's really affordable, because that does add up. And then on top of that, housing has been like a really huge issue for me.
A report by the California Student Aid Commission found that 1/3 of 5,000 college students surveyed experienced housing and food insecurity. The average student spends nearly $2,000 a month on expenses other than tuition. And the students who face the most financial hardship are those of color and those with dependents. According to the survey, 1/2 of Black students said they do not have access to nutritional food, and 40% said they lacked stable housing. 4 out of 10 Latinos said they experienced similar struggles. The financial struggle is especially difficult for first-generation students who are unaware of how to navigate resources.
If you don't have your parents to help you out, or if they have never gone through the college process before, knowing what programs are available and how to maximize those, I find is the greatest problem that I think our students have.
But Ford thinks colleges could do more to help. She points to empty dorms at the University of La Verne that could help homeless students.
What's the point of having empty dorms for students who are financially don't have the housing and are unstable? We don't have that. We don't have that option for students who can't afford it on campus.
The Commission's survey will be used to lobby the state to provide more financial aid for students who are in need. For Foothill Community News, I'm Marlene Lopez.
One organization in Pomona is coming together to bring awareness about the growing homeless population. Chanel Ramirez has more.
Dozens came out on a recent Saturday with the same mission, to support the efforts to help the hungry and homeless in the Pomona Valley. The 46th annual walk was hosted by the Inland Valley Hope Partners. The event featured a 5K, live music, free food, and other activities. But the main goal was to raise awareness of the homeless problem and the services available to the public.
I know family and friends that have been in need of services that Inland Valley Hope Partners provides. I was raised by a single mother who needed services like this when I was younger.
The Inland Valley Hope Partners provide services that include housing programs, food security, and employment services. President and CEO Tammy Grosvenor says many people have a misperception of what homeless and hunger look like.
People are known as the working poor, so they're families that are working multiple jobs to provide for their families, and it's just not enough.
This event holds a special place in the hearts of the Magana family.
We struggled in our lives and our family. We were homeless before and hungry, so you just never know. We just want to give back.
Reporting for Foothill Community News, I'm Chanel Ramirez.
When we come back, an up-close and personal look at things that go bump in the night.
And we have the events going on in our local community.
Stay with us.
I'm here. Can you see me? Because I feel like I'm invisible. Like this whole place is invisible. If it weren't for the nightly news, no one would even think of this place. But down here, things look different. Down here, our spirits are bright and our dreams are vivid. And if given a chance, that's what the world would see.
Children and families all across the community got an up-close experience with animals of the night.
I got to see for myself what all the excitement was about. The Rancho Santa Ana Botanical Garden hosted its annual Things That Go Bump in the Night event, where guests were able to walk around and see animals, eat, and enjoy live shows.
I bring my snakes and some toads and lizards and different other kinds of reptiles to show kids.
Jesse Horn has been bringing his reptile exhibit to the event for the last 7 years.
Most people are more familiar with exotic reptiles, ball pythons and that kind of thing, Burmese pythons, but we have lots of really interesting and really cool native reptiles in Southern California.
There was also a wolf den and owl exhibit, and a show featuring everyone's favorite arachnid.
Go ahead, everybody say tarantula.
This year's event was one of their most successful.
Every year we see more and more people. We're actually breaking a record right now, as you might see behind me. We have 800 people coming tonight, which is a record for us.
The exhibits were not only educational, but according to the Cantwell family, a whole lot of fun.
I'm excited to see the bug show.
The bug show.
Bug show.
Leo, what are you excited for?
I don't know spiders.
What did you like about the spiders?
I like how he showed us how they what is it called? How they web. Yeah, how they make their web and stuff, and how to catch animals.
Along with the exhibits, the Botanical Garden is the largest garden dedicated to California native plants. If you missed this exhibit, the Botanic Garden always has events for the community to enjoy. Next month is all about acorns.
If you're looking for something to do, we've got you covered. Here's what's going on around the town. Be prepared to fill your candy buckets this Halloween day during the annual Trick-or-Treat Walk in Old Town Laverne. Local merchants also participate, making it fun for families and kids of all ages. The event takes place from 2 to 5 p.m. at the intersection of D and 3rd Street.
You can also take part in LVTV's Halloween special known as Spooktacular. Come in costume and enjoy the spooky fun. Spooktacular is from 3 to 5 p.m. in Old Town Laverne.
The Laverne Police and Fire Department invite you to their public safety open house, where there will be live demonstrations and a tour of both stations, kids finger painting, and a kids fun zone. Open house is November 2nd, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Public Safety Facility in Old Town Laverne.
Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, is a celebration of life and death. Come celebrate this Mexican holiday in Claremont Village. There will be activities for children, food, music, and dancing. You can also honor your ancestors by bringing disposable items and photos to place in the community altar. This special event is November 2nd from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. in the heart of Claremont Village and is open to the public.
Come to the Pomona Fairplex and explore over 3,000 hand-carved pumpkins at Pumpkin Nights. You'll take a mystical journey and discover the Forbidden Pumpkin City. Pumpkin Nights is now open through November 3rd from 5:30 to 10:30 p.m. Tickets are $20 for adults and free for children 3 years old and under. Tickets are available at pumpkinnights.com.
The Magical Chinese Lantern Festival has a brand new theme called Blooming Seasons. The displays are bigger and brighter and inspired by Chinese lantern making dating back 2,000 years. This magical event takes place at the Pomona Fairplex from November 21st through January 5th. Tickets range from $13 to $27, and children 4 and under are free. Purchase tickets at eventbrite.com.
That does it for Around the Town. Coming up, we'll have the latest scores and more in local sports.
We'll be right back. You're watching Foothill Community News.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Let's hit those pearly whites, man. Yeah. The boys, check it. Yeah.
Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Joining us now for sports is our very own Christopher Livingston.
How goes it, Chris?
It's going pretty well. A lot of exciting things to talk about in sports. But first, a game-changing bill was signed into law in California that will put a price on the value of NCAA athletes. I talked with local athletes to get their take on what is being called the Fair Pay to Play Act. Last month, California's Governor Gavin Newsom signed into law a controversial bill known as the Fair Pay to Play Act. The law allows NCAA college athletes to make a profit through endorsements and commercial use of their image and likeness. I spoke with several athletes from the University of La Verne. All, like running back Martavius Holiday, fully support the new law.
NCAA makes a lot of money, just plain and simple. They make a lot of money, and a lot of that money just goes to themselves and barely goes to the schools at that. And coaches get paid a lot of money also, so players should definitely get, their part in this.
It won't go in effect until 2023, but many, like the University of La Verne athletic director and head baseball coach Scott Winterburn, are weighing the pros and cons.
I think a lot of rules that we have in the NC2A is to keep our players at the amateur level, and it feels like this would almost kind of violate that rule, allowing them to do some things professionally on their likeness.
The NCAA has been a staunch opponent of the law and issued a statement saying, the NCAA has consistently stood by its belief that student athletes are students first, and they should not be employees of the university. The statement goes on to say, it is impossible to resolve the challenges of today's college sports environment in this way, by one state taking unilateral action. The NCAA has also said that any student or athlete participating in the law could be barred from NCAA competition. That could force other schools to have to start their own independent athletic organization. Winterburn says a new oversight could require complete restructuring of the university's athletic department.
I can see the foundational shift that this causes. So if it would, on our level, Division III, it would change the way we do compliance, for instance.
Student athletes feel that it won't be long before those trying to fight the law will realize it's too late.
They're going to try to resist it because once you get enough people behind this law to change it, it's going to be irreversible. It's going to be something that stands up. It's going to be a history. It's going to be a change in history for sure.
With states like New York proposing similar bills, it has become quite clear that neither side will back down. Now let's check out recent scores and highlights from the University of La Verne's sport teams. The football team was able to hold off Whittier College in a high-scoring 50-30 victory at homecoming night on October 19th. Running back Martavius Holiday had 256 all-purpose yards and scored 4 touchdowns. Leopards football currently holds a 3-3 overall record and sits in 4th place in SCIAC standings. Next, the Leopards volleyball team lost a tough one to Chapman on October 22nd, losing the match 3-1. Haley Salaya and Ayana Meyer led the Leopards with 13 kills each. Leopards volleyball holds a 12-10 overall record and also sits in 4th place in SCIAC standings. Now on to soccer. On October 19th, the men's soccer team was defeated by a score of 3-1 on the road to Claremont Mudscripts. David Vasquez Mena scored the lone goal of the game for the Leopards. The women's soccer team also fell in their last match, losing 4-1 against Cal Lutheran on October 19th. Jordan Ballou scored the only goal in that match for the Leopards on a penalty kick. The women's soccer team holds a 2-10-1 overall record and sits second to last in SCIAC behind only Caltech. Turning to our local high schools, In football, the Bonita Bearcats won their most recent outing at Alta Loma, winning that game 35-3. The Bearcats hold a 7-1 record. In field hockey, the Bearcats finished their season with a 12-4-1 overall record, dropping 2 of their last 3 games, including a 2-1 loss to Chaminade in the final game of the season. The San Dimas High School volleyball team has been on fire lately, winners of 7 straight matches. They have not lost a single set in those 7 wins. Talk about dominance. They hold a 22-5 overall record. The San Dimas football team has also shared similar success, winners of 5 straight games, including a 58-55 shootout against Covina in their game. The Saints hold a 6-2 overall record. Finally, we look at Damien High School football. The Spartans hold a 4-4 overall record, losing their most recent outing against Rancho Cucamonga. It was a 46-14 blowout. They'll be looking to bounce back after that game. And that does it for sports.
Thanks, Chris. Besides catching a local game in the community, fall also means, you guessed it, Halloween.
And what is Halloween without a pumpkin to carve? Reporter Paulina Wartman went to one of our local pumpkin patches to explore the offerings.
Adults and children of all ages came out to the Laverne Heritage Harvest Pumpkin Patch during October for the annual tradition of searching for the perfect pumpkin.
I kind of like this one. I think that one on the top is better. That one there? Yeah.
The park's intimate setting with no crowds is a favorite spot for locals who want to get into the fall spirit.
We are picking out pumpkins and then we're going to go carve them at home. So we went with the mini pumpkins.
This
So
should
we're
be
gonna carve
interesting.
them. Yeah, cute, perfect for pictures, family vibes, very inexpensive. Yeah.
The park is hidden off Wheeler Avenue and via D. Manson. The patch offers a variety of activities such as pumpkin carving, a petting zoo, and a tractor ride.
Just roaming around, looking at the pumpkin patch, trying to find my perfect pumpkin for the year.
You can't have Halloween without the perfect pumpkin, so make sure to stop by the Heritage Park and get yours today.
Happy Halloween!
That'll do it for us here.
Join us again next time for another edition of Foothill Community News.